Conigma Connect. No code, no effort.
The flexibility of integrating best-of-breed solutions, independent of deployment method, whether it is on-prem or cloud, into a custom toolchain, is key. In this Conigma Connect use case, this requirement is addressed through the seamless integration of Microsoft Azure DevOps with Tricentis Tosca On-Prem. When a test manager creates a user story in Azure DevOps for an SAP business process, he can link it to reusable Tosca test case blocks. These blocks were synchronized from Tosca into Azure DevOps using Conigma Connect. The test manager then creates a test suite in ADO for this new user story. Conigma Connect synchronizes these changes to Tosca and detects the reusable test step blocks that were used in the test suite. In Tosca, these test cases are grouped within a virtual folder. From here, the test manager sorts the test cases into a suitable execution list and test event. Finally, the test manager will execute the test event. After successful execution in Tosca, Conigma Connect will synchronize the created execution structure into the test plan execution section of Azure DevOps. In addition, the execution results will be synchronized directly to the original test cases, so that the story in the testing board also holds information about test execution. Let's take a closer look into the connected systems. We start our demo in the board view of Azure DevOps. We will create a new user story and name it corresponding to the SAP business process we want to implement. We assign the story to one of our experts and click on the story to open it. We are now classifying affected SAP systems, HCM and BTP, to allow the preparation of transport information by Conigma CCM, an optional addition from the Conigma product family for SAP Change Control Management. To prepare our test plan for the new story, we click on the link button to add the required test blocks from the synchronized Tosca reusable test cases. For the rush order flow variant of the order to bill process, we are linking the Create Sales Order and Create Billing Document test case. We can then save and close the story. Now, we can push the user story to the active state of our development process. Here, we can already view the transport information that Conigma CCM has determined. When changes are completed, we can drag and drop the story to the next states. Import to QA. This will trigger the execution of the transport by Conigma CCM. To be tested, this will prepare the hand over to the automated test execution. Now we can switch to the test plan view of Azure DevOps. In the Tosca On-Prem integration section, we define a new test suite for the execution of our user story. So let's create a requirement-based suite for this. In this new suite, we can run the query to link our new user story. Let's select the Order to Bill, Rush Order, and click on Create Suites. This immediately triggers the synchronization of test objects from Azure DevOps to Tosca On-Prem. After a few seconds, we can switch over to Tosca Commander and do an Update All to see the synchronized information. A virtual folder was created in Tosca containing the 2 reusable test cases from the Tosca library that are needed for the rush order execution. Now a test manager can expand the existing execution structure in Tosca with the new test cases. Let's do a checkout, add the 2 test cases to a suitable execution list, and select the subfolder Demo. This execution list will be executed in Tosca within our test event Pre-Sales Test Run. Finally, we can check in all objects. To execute, we will right-click on the test event and select Execute Now, which is triggering the Tosca distributed execution. Tosca selects an execution agent with the required configuration, and we can follow the progress in the Tosca Event Monitor. When the execution is completed, we can do an Update All to get the latest changes into our open workspace. Now the results of the latest execution are visible in Tosca Commander. So we can switch back to the browser and open Conigma Connect. We have created a flow that synchronizes the Tosca execution results to Azure DevOps. Let's execute this flow. Once completed, we can switch back to Azure DevOps to see the execution results. We can now open the Tosca On-Prem execution section of the ADO test plan view. The Tosca test cases have arrived in the execution folder, that we selected in Tosca Commander. Both test cases are organized in the Demo subfolder, and the test cases show the current execution result. When we switch back to where we began, to the boards view in Azure DevOps, we can see that our demo story now includes test case information. We can open the summary and click on any of the linked test cases to view Tosca execution information. As we have seen in this demo, Conigma Connect seamlessly integrates Azure DevOps with Tricentis Tosca On-Prem, providing the following synchronizations as an example of all possible connections. Link user story in Azure DevOps to reusable test cases synchronized from Tosca. Synchronize Azure DevOps Test Suite for this user story to Tosca. Organize test execution in Tosca to your needs and start execution. Synchronize execution structure and results from Tosca back to Azure DevOps. Thank you for watching.
Conigma Connect. No code, no effort.